Okay, so last week's episode of Northern War was rough to say the least, and I was maybe a bit harsh on it. So, how did episode 3 fare? Let's find out in this review. As always, there will be some spoilers in this video, so skip to the outro if you want to hear my spoiler free thoughts on the episode. With that out of the way, let's dive in. This episode is nicely balanced. We got some nice character moments between Lavi and Talion, and most of the episode is centered around them. It's indicated Talion might have a pretty massive crush on Lavi, but you only find that out in the last 30 or so seconds of the episode. I have to say, I do love this episode. The nice character moments between Lavi and her crew really drives home what makes the Trails franchise so damn special. It's these character moments and general world building that makes this franchise unique. Tatsunoko Productions actually went all out with this episode, as there are very few moments in the third episode that feel off animation-wise, and the few that do stick out as poorly or awkwardly animated take up only a few seconds of the total 23-minute runtime, and no animation is ever 100% perfect. While the action doesn't take up a large amount of the runtime, with only a few minutes of action, what we do get is absolutely a joy to watch. The key moments that stand out for me are when Lavi is running towards the balloon in the episode's climax, and when her and the clown are actually duking things out. The animation is smooth, fluid, and incredibly stretchy, all things I would classify as good within an anime. I also love the small moments early on between Lavi and Iseria, as it shows how one's a very tomboyish individual and the other is a girly girl. I do have some gripes with this episode though, which we're going to get into now. My main gripes with this episode is we do not find out the clown's motivations for being evil until the very end of the episode. Trails is all about characterization, and I feel like some of the 23 minutes could have been dedicated to us learning about the unnamed clown and his past of owning a theater troupe, and why he wanted to get revenge against the nobility and the merchant class of Ortis. It's a small thing, but it would have been nice to see. I almost feel like this episode needed an additional 10 to 15 minutes to really tell the story it wanted to. But the story it did tell was told competently, with the screen time allotted to it. I do wish we had more of a setup for episode 4, however, as we end the episode with Altina floating on Clown Soleus ominously in the skies above Ortis. Clearly, Lavi and the gang have caught her attention. Clearly, I feel like this episode should have been longer. But do I feel like Tatsunoko should have cut anything from this episode in order to establish the clown more? Nah, not really. Every minute of this episode was utilized well, and that's a rarity in anime, as most series tend to overstuff their episode count with filler content. This didn't feel like filler content, as the stuff we did see really fleshed out Lavi and Talion to the point they are showing more character. We see throughout the episode that Talion is a lovable himbo with a heart of gold. We also see some of Lavion's fun-loving side, and that despite her hard exterior, she's still just a 15-year-old girl. One who has clearly seen some shit, but that she's deep down still a kid who enjoys having fun. Something she clearly hasn't had a lot of thanks to the Northumbrian disaster. So, other than my wishing the episode was longer, how would I have filled out the additional runtime? Honestly, beyond establishing the clown better, I'd have added in a noble or two who have screwed him over. This would have made his vengeance story more poignant. For a little bit, I thought he was going to be a member of the Imperial Liberation Front who was still trying to keep up the good fight. Honestly, that could have been an interesting idea considering we know they had more members than just C, G, V, and S, but I digress. My only other complaint was how hokey the kids' puppet show run by the clown was, but I understand it was supposed to be such, so it's fine. I also love the idea of evil rogue Mishies out there, as Mishi, for those of you who do not know, is Nihon Falcom's mascot. The idea of Falcom having an evil mascot is just fun to me. So what would I score The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel Northern War Episode 3? On a scale of 1 to 10, this episode is an 8.8. It does almost everything perfectly and left me wanting more. That's a sign of a good episode. It has me excited for the 4th episode and has me wondering where the series is going to go. Even though those who have played Cold Steel 3 and 4 know the destination, it's going to be interesting seeing how we get there. But what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if you want to check out my content, I'm going to be posting on a second channel with my editor, The Mad Belmont. A link for that will be in the description, along with my socials. Until next time, keep blazing that trail.